Hi guys. I literally don't know what I'm going to work on tonight. Welcome to Friday night, and I apologize in advance. I need you probably more than you need me tonight. It has been a rough week, and I'm just going to air my dirty laundry right up front, and then we're going to just dive into it. That way we don't have to dwell on it all night. I didn't put oh, hey, there's my acorn pen. I was wondering where it went. Wow, that's fun. I was like, woo! So this week has been a bit of what is that place called where things aren't great? The bad place? Yeah, this week has been that. Uh, and it all started on Sunday when I came home, and it's just literally been one thing after another. And the thing that is most important in my life right now and eating up the most of my attention is my stepson is in the hospital. He's been in the hospital since Tuesday. He had an infection we noticed over the weekend, last weekend. Um, Fortunately, he is recovering. He is stable, and they are looking at hopefully discharging him tomorrow. But because my son is special needs, nonverbal, he has an intellectual and developmental disability, and he's also physically got some things with him. Because of those things, we can't leave him in the hospital alone. So this week has been very trying on our family because Jason has been packing up every morning to drive 2 hours one way to the hospital that Justice is at and sit with him until visiting hours are over at 8 o'clock. So literally right now, Jason is packing up and making the hour and a half, 2 hour trek back home. And that has left me to be single mom, doing all of the things while also trying to take care of the dogs and figure out how to work and all of the stuff. I am very lucky because my husband is home in the morning for a little bit, so he gets to help out a bit there. It's not like he's been completely gone. We've had instances where he has just been completely out of the home for months at a time, or 1 week off, 1 week on for months at a time. So I get that. And while we don't have a support system local to us, like within 15, 20 minutes, we do have lovely friends and family that would come in and stay with us. But also, my daughter is almost 13 and she's pretty self-sufficient. It's the puppies that are draining me right now. And we have a little bit of disposable income this month. So I've not really had to cook. I've just been buying meals for my daughter and I. So while it's bad, it also is not that bad. It could be a whole lot worse. Trust me, if you talked to me a couple days ago, you didn't want to talk to me a couple of days ago. I was still reeling from everything. And it's taken me a minute to really take all those negative thoughts captive and just kind of put them on the shelf, deal with them, acknowledge that I'm having those issues, those emotions, those feelings, but don't really give any fire fuel to them, I guess is the right word. Not sure, but it's taken me a minute to find the positive stuff. The positive stuff is he's doing great. He's healing, and he's gonna, knock on wood, be discharged hopefully this weekend as long as everything continues to go to plan. So there we go. That is part of what's on my mind tonight. I apologize. I am not completely mentally here, but I thought about, do I just want to even do a live tonight? Because I know somebody's going to ask me this. Do you even want to do a live? You should just take time for your family. Yeah, I should. But the reality is, I need something to distract my brain. Like I can only sit in the front room and watch so much TV, and I really don't want to be alone in my sewing room either. So this is my way of maybe interacting with some folks and just having some company. I do apologize. My allergies are bothering me. Residual cat hair was on the sofa, and I laid down on the sofa and played with the puppies and watched a movie. So my eyes are all itchy. I had to take an allergy pill about a half an hour ago, so it should clear up over the course of the next 20 minutes or so. But I think that's it. I think that's it. I did use my evenings at home. I was a little productive, that's the word, with some of my downtime in the evenings. And I say downtime a little loosely because I've really been trying to pay all of my attention to the dogs because we're still trying to solidify the potty training with the little one. He's doing a lot better, but he still has accidents. He's only 6 pounds. He's only like 16 weeks old. And so he needs to go out frequently. And I don't like them to be in the studio because their energy is just not like, the energy in here is crazy and I can't deal with it. So, plus I don't want accidents on the carpet. So I've been trying to stay out of the studio. However, I have been giving myself an hour or so where I will take them out for a really good run and I'll let them play really hard. And then I give them an hour if they've used the bathroom in the house. And if they haven't used the bathroom, because we're still potty training, they go in the crate, but most of the time they're free run. But I'll give them an hour just alone with a bone or something, just let them relax, and then I come in here and work. And what I have done is for the VIP program, we're going to have a virtual retreat the last weekend of this month, and I have solidified what my eye is watering. We have solidified what that agenda looks like. We're going to kick off, I think, 5 p.m. on that Friday, the last Friday of the month, and it's going to go until Sunday night. And I have also written a pattern that we're going to sew together. So I've got the agenda done. I finalized writing the pattern, found a couple edits that needed to be made because I also tested the pattern. It is a super quick sew. We'll be able to get through it in a weekend. So all that information is on the VIP section of the website. If you're not a VIP member, you could do !VIP in the chat. You'll get a link over to that, or you can just go to my website, sewbecca.com. In the upper right-hand corner, there'll be a thing that says VIP Home. If you click on that, you'll have access to everything. You have to be signed in to see it. And if you are not a VIP member, it'll prompt you to sign up. So there you go. I also have another pattern that I have sent to Mary for testing. So the pattern that we're going to do at the end of July is going to drop for sale in August. And then the one that Mary is testing, I have designed, written, gave it to Mary for testing. That's planned for September, and I've already got one designed and in writing for October. So I mentioned in Tuesday that I felt like every month for the rest of this year, I was going to have a pattern drop. I am on track for that, and I am loving doing this. I had to give myself a little bit of grace to just embrace that I'm not likely going to design a quilt or a block that is completely unique, not unless I get into the world of applique and FPP entirely, because then your shapes open way up. You're going to recreate some things. And yeah, I might even create a pattern that if you look at it long enough and study it, you can figure out exactly how to do it. Well, maybe my patterns aren't for the people that can figure out how to do it on their own. And maybe they're not for people that already bought a pattern that looks just like that. Maybe it's for the people that want to support me. And this is where you get something and I get something in return. And maybe it's for the people that just love patterns. I don't know how many people I have run into and they're like, I have to follow a pattern. I have to follow a pattern. Well, that's what this is for. So what I've embraced is my style of writing, my instructional, what do they call it? Technical writing, my technical writing skills that I have honed over a 20-year career. I have embraced that and I am putting that into quilting. So yeah, we'll see where this goes. All right, let's see. What do we have in the chat? I saw somebody sent me a tip and I wasn't, oh, Marcia, thank you so much for that. That's lovely. And it will go a very long way on Tuesday. We'll set that aside and use it on Tuesday because I'm leaving for a retreat on Tuesday. Oh my gosh. I know I just came back from one and I'm leaving for another one, but we'll talk about that in a couple minutes too. Let's see. Are there any questions in here? Are we still working on Among the Stars again too? Yes, Katie, we'll be doing that in July. So for those of you that are VIP members, we do a monthly, what the VIP program is it's an exclusive access membership for $5 a month. For that $5 a month, you get a monthly Zoom that I host, usually the last Sunday of every month from 2 to 6. And then once every 3 months, we do a 3-day virtual retreat where we have games, giveaways, and a project. And I'm really excited because I've already got this one lined up and I've got the next one lined up. There is a subscriber, Rachel. She is amazing. She showed us on our, VIP member, she showed us on this last Zoom how she takes a sweatshirt, just like the regular sweatshirt, and turns it into a quilted jacket. So when we do our VIP virtual retreat in October, she's going to teach us how to do that. And I am absolutely stoked for that. This would be a great way to use up panels or orphan blocks or maybe just some fabric that you absolutely love. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I've got the next two figured out, and then I'm not sure what the third one will be, but we're already planning them. But VIP, we do the monthly Zoom, the quarterly retreat. You get access to all of my patterns for free in the VIP pattern library. But we also have been doing the Among the Stars Again block of the month, which is a pattern written by Lala Boutique, I think, but maybe I'm wrong. You can get it from Fat Quarter Shop. It's an 8-month block of the month, 8 or 9 months, and we've been on track with those, but a lot of us are a month or so behind. So what will happen is we're going to take through October to wrap all of that up. That way, if you're a month or two behind, no worries. We're going to work on it next month or at the end of this month too, but we're going to take a couple months to really tie the loose ends in. And then after we finish the quilted sweatshirt and all that other stuff, we'll look at our next project. Or maybe we'll just do UFOs for November and December, since most of us will probably be trying to get Christmas gifts finished. And then we'll start fresh with another project in January. So, all right, let's see. What do we got? Lots of people in the chat chatting. I know I've missed several of you, so I apologize if I didn't see your message. If you have something you would like me to reply to, do me a favor and just do @Becca, and that'll pop it up on my screen so I can see it really well. I do have some friends that are watching, and they like to help out with the Q&A by texting questions to me. So if I don't get to it right away, they'll make sure that it gets in front of me, but you got to tag me. Let's see. Somebody asked, where in Alabama is the retreat? Northeast Alabama. It's outside of Huntsville. It's a personal retreat that I go on every year with some lovely friends I have known for years outside of YouTube. I knew them before YouTube was a thing in my world. And this is a retreat that I really look forward to with these ladies because my mom fits in with this group and she looks forward to the trip. So this isn't just me getting to hang out with my quilty friends and not being a YouTuber, but it is, and people that I've known for a long time, but it is also a time for me to spend time with my mom. So I'm really excited about that. This is the first year that she's actually going to take a sewing machine with her. Well, I'm taking one for her. If we're being honest, I'm taking the baby lock and I am also taking her layer cake pop quilt and I'm taking mine as well. And my goal is by the time we leave that retreat, this one's longer than it's been in the past. By the time we leave that retreat, both of us will have our quilt tops completed and ready to show you guys when we come back. All right. Hello, Kathy. I know Katie says, I can't believe half the year is gone already. Yeah, where did that go? Bill says, I have a legit kits question. Were you reading my mind? Because I literally pulled legit kit to work on tonight. Because I was like, what am I going to do? I don't know. I guess I'll pull legit kit. Let's see. Bill says, I have a legit kits question. Do you all cut shapes just bigger or do you just cut big squares? I'm jacking mine up, trying to cut the shapes, but bigger. I'll show you what I do because I'm actually going to work on month 3. So I don't know if this is the right way to do it, but what I do know is Legit Kits. I had to think of their name for a minute. I don't know why thinking of Legit Kit's name for Legit Kit was hard, but I did. They have a fabric guarantee, so you don't have to worry about hacking into the fabric. So here's one of the struggles that I have with FPP. I still feel like I am a confident beginner. I am not advanced. I am not intermediate. And the reason why I would classify myself that way is because when I cut my fabric for FPP, there has got to be a rule to it, but I don't know that there is. So I just cut really big pieces. I did see Ian do a couple of things while we were on a FaceTime call one day, and that stuck with me. And I'll show you what he did. But my rule of thumb is I always just cut bigger. I always cut bigger. And sometimes I don't even cut fabric off of the scrap that I'm using until I trim it. And I'll demonstrate that in just a couple minutes. Legit Kits, as I was starting to say, man, I'm all over the place. Legit Kits has a fabric guarantee. So if you start cutting into and hacking up your pieces and you find you run out of a color, all you got to do is reach out to them and let them know, and they will make sure that you get more of that color in the mail right away, no questions asked. So there you go. You know those mystery bundles we've all probably gotten from Soya that don't click with us? I made a pillowcase for the first time out of some of them that I just don't love, and it came out really nice. Very good. All right. I don't have anything else. Christina said, I love the shirt. I'm a John girl. Don't care if he doesn't swing my way. You know, Jordan. So I forgot I was wearing my New Kid shirt. I have been wearing lots of New Kid shirts lately. I was a Jordan girl growing up, like 100%. And I remember like, I was trying to work logic into it. I was like, no, I should like Joe because Joe's younger and he's closer to me in age. But it was always Jordan for me. It was always Jordan. And then as I get to be an adult, like I don't know how else to put this, but when I see them, when I go to their concerts and stuff, I enjoy the teenage memories, but I'm not swooning over them like I did when I was a teenager. I'm just having a good time. I'm just enjoying the memories from my teenage years. And if I had to pick a favorite now as an adult, I would tell you it would be Donnie because of the amount of love that he has for just everybody. And like his heart is so big, or it would be John. So, but yes, Jordan's with us tonight. Okay. Yeah. Any questions before I get started? I guess I like type them in the chat if you have them. I'm gonna move this out of the way. I'm gonna bring in my packets from Legit Kits. Are ye? Okay, Karen. Are you saying those guys don't make you go feral? Nope, they don't. I like that. That's over and done with. Like I'm there for the memories. I'm there for the good time. I'm there for the girls' night out. I am not there to pick up a man. I have an amazing husband who I love very much. And if I'm being completely honest, I am not any of their types. So I know that. I'm aware enough to know that they are all married. They are all in love with their partners. I have one too. We're just there for the music. Bill said it's so weird to watch Blue Buds with Donnie. Yeah. Martha said, I'm just excited you're going to be in the same state as me, even for just a few days. Martha, where in Alabama are you at? Bring your New Kids towels. Now I have 2 sets of New Kids towels. I'm not bringing them because, Karen, I can't show you. I'll send you a picture later. They are up on the top shelf. They're 8 feet up. And then Mom got me the Funko Pop dolls too. So I'm not going to bring them with me. Donnie is on Blue Bloods. What character does he play? Danny. Yeah, he plays Danny. Mom calls him Danny Donnie. All right, here we go. This is what we're going to do. I'm just going to go to the overhead view, and I don't even think month 3 has shipped yet, but I know I'm going to be out of town, and I got the entire kit all at once, so I'm just going to work on it. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I have mine set up, by the way, in case you're curious. I think I did a video on this before, but I'll show you. If I were to get a full kit or I'm doing multiple, I'm only doing one legit kit right now, and I may hopefully do more later. Enterprise, is that Northeast? How far away from Huntsville is that, Martha? So the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I have done a full-on kit. And when I did that full-on kit, I found that the filing system was better for my fabric. If you guys don't know what that is, there's lots of content creators out there. I think Donna's definitely got a video on this. She's actually the one that showed it to me. She takes a filing, like a little box that holds hanging file folders, and she tabs each one with the color of the fabric, and then she files it away that way like you would paper. papers. I did that for Ursula Minor, but what I'm doing for the block of the month is something a little different. I'm using a binder system, and it does take me 3 binders. I have 1 binder for all of my papers, so all of this is in the binder like this, just like that. I have 1 packet of information that just has all of my color charts, and it even has the diagram for what all the 4 blocks will look like when they're sewn together. But then I have 1 sheet protector with all of the pages that are inside for each block. So I'm supposed to do 4 blocks this month, so I have 4 sheet protectors. And then in a separate binder, this is the one that needs 2 binders, I have these envelopes, these little pocket binder zipper pouches, which Karen Diard, who's in the chat, showed me about. She mentioned I really should try these with some patterns. These work well. So what I'm doing is all of my fabric for that month is in here, and I had a post-it note in here that said month 3, and then all my scraps go back in here too. I don't know if this is any better or worse than Donna's system. I felt like it made it more portable because it got everything into binders. But then when I went to pick everything up and take it to Pennsylvania, I seriously questioned that. So I don't know. Jury's out on it. It is kind of cool that it's all sitting on my shelf and I don't have boxes laying around, but I'm not sure if I'm loving this or if the other way is really better. Danelle says, your binder method is working for me. I've been doing a 1-inch binder per month. There you go. That will work. Like a little 1-inch binder for every month. That would be cool because then you could just, that might be what would make this set apart is I could just pick up the 1 binder and go. Donna said, do what works best for you, girl. You know, something works best for me and I don't know what that something is. Guess we'll figure it out. All right, so for those of you that haven't done the block of the month or a legit kit before, keeping yourself organized is key. This is the little paper that's going to show me what the pattern side is going to look like and what the finished side is going to look like when it's all put together. This is important for me to reference later. I'm not going to worry about it right now, so I'm just going to slide it back in here. But I did pull out my cutting guides. These are the cut guides. And the reason why I did that is because this has the fabric color, the cut that it is, and then it has over here the pieces that I'm going to end up cutting out of it. And it kind of tells you like how much, like where you could cut your template piece if you wanted to. Spoiler alert, I don't cut templates out. And I don't actually follow where they say to cut. What I use this for is 2 things. First, I look to see how much extra room I have. So when I get to CK, I know I only have 1 piece to cut out of CK. So it's okay. I don't have to worry about it. But if I get to like, trying to see if there's one that's really bad. No, actually this month I think they're all pretty good. This one, DK, I might be a little cautious about DK because it's taken up quite a bit of that rectangle. The other thing that I do is just as I'm going, I'll grab a pen. Oh, get in there. I said, get in there. And then I'll just scratch off the piece as I've cut it out and put it on the block. So that's kind of my process. It works for me. It makes it pleasant. And it's kind of, I won't call it a mindless sew because I don't know that that's necessarily the right term, but it is stress-free sewing. We'll call it that. Mindless makes it sound like it doesn't require any talent. And I don't think that that's true. I've been calling FPP mindless, not because I think it doesn't require talent, but because it's really relaxing once you get in your groove. So we're going to rebrand that a little bit to relaxed sewing. Just like we used to call time when we were making something for us a personal or a selfish sew. That has a very negative connotation to it because it sounds like you're not doing anything for anybody else and you should be, and you already feel guilty going into that. If you rebrand it to something like personal sew, it makes it sound so much more pleasant. I'm working on this for me. It's a personal sew. There you go. So it's all in how you brand it. I am looking for my add a quarter ruler, which is way down in here. I couldn't find any of my notions that I took to Donna's retreat. And I was like, where did they go? I can't find them. Oh no, I'm going to have to get a new add a quarter ruler. I'm going to have to get a new Acorn Easy Press pen because I really love that for this. I'm going to have to get, oh, there's my thimble. There you go, Donna. Yeah, I was really upset, and then literally as I was telling you what was going on this week, I looked over. I was like, "Oh, there it is." Oh, all right. Ow! I don't know why I said "ow." It didn't hurt. Whatever. Let's get to sewing. Okay, we're gonna start with C1. Hey, Tiff. All right, C1 is what we're going to start with. So I'm going to put the other ones under here just to kind of keep myself a little organized. And this is the block number that we're working on, C1. And we're going to start with 1, then add 2, and add 3. Just follow the numbers. You're just counting. The first one is color CK. So I'm going to find CK in here, which is right up here. I'm going to leave this. Did I starch this? I didn't starch it. I should starch it. Okay, we're going to starch before we get too far along because I starched all of the other fabric for month 1 and 2. I think I did. I always starch before I do everything. So we're going to starch. I am now looking for my best press, which is way on the other side of the room. Why? Because that would be what gives me a hard time. In fact, we're going to use the blue one because the purple's almost out. And I don't have another purple bottle, and I don't want to have to stop in the middle of the live stream to refill it. So we'll use this one. It matches my walls. That's on. So to starch these pieces, I do take the sticker off. I just set it aside. I spritz it. And then I'll come in with the hot iron. And then I'll put that label right back on it. Oh, this one smells good. I've been using the lavender, but that one's just about out. And now I'm using the Caribbean beach scent, I think. Really pretty. And put the sticker right back on here so I don't get myself mixed up and I know what color that is. I'll set that in the pile. You changed your pressing mat. Looks good. Actually, I replaced it. I did change it. I put strawberries on my old one. And while I was at retreat, I think I gave it to Shelly. I think she has it now. And I bought a new one. I didn't need to, but they had this really pretty fabric and I had to have it, so I got it. Kate wants to know who's on my shirt tonight. Jordan Knight. Jordan Knight. I think this should be the channel that's known for quilting and boy bands, and I should just start rotating out all the boy band shirts. I don't have very many, but that should start being like the only thing I wear. Be like, who are we swooning over tonight? Joey McIntyre. Recreational sewing, Christina says. That's awesome. Some of these colors look so similar too. Yay, Jordan, Kate says. My favorite song of his was Stay the Same. Oh, that's a good one. Yep. And I will not break into singing it because nobody can sing it like Joey Mac. I am going to see him, I think July 30th. It's a Monday, or maybe it's a Tuesday. I can't remember. After our virtual retreat, I get to go see him in Alexandria. Really excited about that. And I'm taking my sister, Nicole, with me. And if you haven't heard already, it sounds like, although anybody that really kind of follows them was already anticipating this because they tend to go on a tour every other year and they didn't tour this year. So I think all of us were kind of expecting next year to be a tour year. And it sounds like that has been confirmed. And it sounds like they're going to release a greatest hits album too, which is kind of fun. So I'll definitely be doing some concerts next summer. If anybody wants to host me on their couch while I go geek out at New Kids on the Block, let me know. Hello, Marcia Brown from Derby, Kansas, who is her first time here. I am working on month number 3 for the Legit Kits block of the month, which will ship out, I think, on the 20th of this month. So I'm a little ahead of schedule here, but it's no surprise what this is going to look like. And I'm going to be out of town, so. Marie says, hello, Becca and everyone. I was just laughing out loud because my daughter slept with Jordan every night. I bought her a pillowcase with his picture over the whole thing. Hello, Teresa. If you don't mind, Donnell says, if you don't mind 2 cats, 2 dogs, a 24-year-old son, and a husband, you are always welcome at my house. Well, I appreciate that, but if I'm going to Michigan, I'll stay with my sister, who will probably go to the concerts with me. I'm going to go turn that fan on to get some air moving, and I'll be looking for you guys to let me know if it's too loud of a noise. That would help me. I don't think it will be, but I'm a little stuffy. It's a little stuffy in here. I mean, if my, it's on now, but I'm also adjusting with my microphone. There we go. There we go. If my technology can cut out the Juki, it can certainly cut out the fan, right? Jim is getting out of the hospital tomorrow. That's awesome. Bet you're ready to be home. Oh. There's just something soothing about pressing fabric. I don't want to iron your clothes, but I do want to press your fabric. Karen says, I can't hear the fan. Awesome. Thank you for letting me know. One more piece to starch. Hi, Kristen. I am working on month number 3. for the Vortex block of the month from Legit Kits. Right now I'm just starching my fabric before I get started sewing. Oops! Did you see the fan just whipped that away? It just folded it right up under. That was hilarious. All right. We are all, excuse me, sorry, starched and ready to go. So, got to get myself back set up the right way. Okay. We don't need that anymore. You need some water. Rita says, howdy. I just signed up as VIP and I cannot wait for the retreat. Awesome! It's going to be a lot of blast. We're going to play some games every day. And we've got some giveaways too. It'll be fun. And we're going to do a project together. So I'm going to grab CK, which I remember was one of the first ones that I starched. It was all the way at the back. And then I'm just going to set these kind of up over here. I don't know where my light box went. I think it got put away in the great furniture building escapade. So I will not deal with that. Just pull out another pen. All right, we have got CK right here. Scratch that out. I'll set this up here. And I'm going to put that on top of it so it doesn't fly away. Here's my sheet of paper. And all I have coming off of this is the one piece. So what I'm going to do just to make my life easier, I'm going to bring in my add a quarter ruler. This is the add a quarter plus ruler. That means there's a ledge that's tapered on the opposite side of the ledge that you cut against. I'm just going to use that to start a crease on the paper, and then I will recrease it with my hand. Then I'm going to come over with my add a quarter ruler, and I'm going to bump that ledge up against that fold. Then I'm going to cut. And all of that is scrap. So I'm just going to set this over here. I am going to put a pin through this just to kind of, since I've got the fan running around, I don't want it to mess anything up. So I'm going to put it through there. Since I know I am done with CK based on my cutting guide, which is underneath me right now, I'm just going to take this, fold it up, and put it in my little pouch where I'm keeping all of my scraps. That way I don't have to sort through fabric I don't need anymore when I need to look for something that I do need. Okay. The second fabric I need is KL. So I'm going to grab my cut guide again. It looks like it is key lime. And number 2 is right here. So I'm just going to scratch that out. I'm going to pull KL. I still have 2 more cuts from this. Just want to make sure I got the right one. I do KL, KL, good. So now what I'm going to do, and Bill, this is what I was talking about before. Rather than cutting a piece off, I'm actually going to flip this over. Hold on. That fan's going to annoy me, blowing right at my table. I need it to blow somewhere else. I don't mind it blowing on or around me, but making my fabric move and my paper move is going to drive me insane. So Bill, this is what I was talking about. I have that cut edge that I just created, and now what I'm going to do is just find an edge of this fabric that I can line up with that raw edge that I just cut, and make sure everything's nice and tidy. And then I'm going to flip this over and make sure that when I do, it's covering that whole section. This is where a light box would come in handy. You have to remember, in the world of FPP, there will be waste. So just embrace that. That's going to be good. I just want to kind of play with it a little bit, get it lined up, test that flip, make sure it covers this whole section that you're going to fill in, and then you can take it to the sewing machine and stitch it. This is a really big piece. I will cut, I'm going to reduce my stitch length down to 1. I will cut that after I sew it on. I knew that happened. It sounded like it did. Dog nabbit, bobbin, chicken. I was like, something clinked. I think I ran out of bobbin. And did I stop to check? No, I just kept sewing like a doofus. It's my last bobbin before I gotta change the needle and wind some more. Oh my gosh. Hold on, I'll be right back. Coffee from earlier today. Didn't make too much of a mess. It didn't get on any fabric. Did get on a couple of the mug rugs, but that's what they're meant for. They can just go in the wash. And then we'll just sop this up, and I'll go get some Clorox wipes really quick. I should have put that in the kitchen. I knew better. Quilting emergency! Bring the Clorox wipes, stat! Happens to the best of us, right? These can all get put in the laundry now, which is conveniently right there. Let me grab something out of my cleaning drawer. Anybody laughing? Oh my gosh. Karen says, I have been a VIP. I stopped because my health wasn't allowing me to participate. I may have to rejoin. Aw. Karen says, the advantage of the VIP retreat is you get to sleep in your own bed. Ain't that the truth? I have a very nice bed. I don't mind going on physical retreats, go away from home, but when I come back, I definitely am like, oh, my bed. Oh, yeah. See, I put cream and Splenda in my coffee, and if I didn't clean this up, either the creamer or the milk or the Splenda would have made this all sticky, or maybe the coffee too, I don't know. So I'm glad I got this now. Like I said, no fabric was harmed in that coffee spill. Oh, a little bit right here. Look at that. It's all brown now. All right. Oh, I'm looking for my trash can. Okay, back to changing the bobbin. Whew. Oh, There was some thread on this bobbin. It got jammed up or something. I'll look at it later. Like, the thread's not coming off of the bobbin. I was going to say, normally I don't hear a click when I run out. Get that tail going. Bill says, I love that tip because I'll cut early, then flip, and the angle is off, and I don't cover the whole seam allowance fully. Yeah, I used to do the same thing, and this tip saved my butt. So this is what I do now. I don't know if it's this needs to be washed. It's got coffee on it. I don't know if it's the proper way to do it. I'm sure somebody out there that is far more advanced in the world of FPP will come and tell me that I'm doing it wrong. But my rule is, if it makes sense to you and it makes the journey enjoyable for you and it allows you to sew without stress, then it's the right choice. Everybody has their own way of doing things, and that's allowed. My mom draws the seam lines on her fabric, for crying out loud, and that's okay. Would I do that? No, I ain't got time for that. Do I think it's efficient? Absolutely not. But I know it makes her happy, and it allows her to create, and it makes her happy with her results, and so that's all that matters. Boom. Lesson learned. All right, let's try this again. Sadly, I've already perforated this line, so we're going to just have extra perforation. Times. This paper is just going to fall off. Did we sew? We did. Yes, sir. All right, here's the other tip that I have, also from Donna, that I got coffee on the pen. I'll be cleaning up coffee for some while, guys. You don't, no, the coffee been sitting there for a while. Are the fabric requirements, etc., in the VIP portion of the website for the retreat? Yes, Karen, they are. As well as the pattern, which has been now tested and uploaded and is ready to go. Wait, that didn't sew? Oh, come on, for the love of Peter. Can we just have some sewing? Like, lay down some thread, Juki. Why are you not? Tension's right. Bobbin's in the right way. At least now it is. I don't know if it was before. Clicked in. I don't have any scrap fabric over here. Oh, I do, but I don't want it sewn on that. I don't like that being scrap fabric. Oh, wait. Yes, I do. I have scraps. This bin is scrap. Doesn't sound like it's sewing. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, it is. No, it's not. I lied. Why is it not sewing? Oh, wait. Yes, it is. Okay. Yes, it is. It's sewed. It's just the thread is the same color as the back of the fabric. All right, let's try this again, huh? Oh, man, that paper is just falling off now. Not ideal. Not ideal at all. All right. Now I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to press it over with my hand. I will give it a little bit of dry heat first, just to kind of get it to lay down, especially since I had so many issues getting this to stitch. And then I'm going to come in with the Acorn Precision piecing pen, and I'm just going to draw a line right on there. And then I will press this down. You won't notice much of a difference on the first seam, but when the seams start stacking on top of one another, you'll start to notice a difference. Okay, so that's the first piece. Now I'm going to take this line between part 2 and part 3. I'm going to use the tapered edge of my add a quarter ruler. Can't talk. Lift up the paper and crease. You know what I just did? This didn't come all the way down right here. Right here in this corner. You can't see it here, but if I lift this up and fold it back right here, it doesn't cover the seam allowance because I didn't shift this down enough, but I can fix that. We're going to do what I call franken-grow the piece. So this is a good tip for you if you are new in the world of FPP and you find that you put a piece on and it's not quite big enough. You can always rip your seam and try again, or you can franken-grow it. And what I mean by that, so we're just going to grab a little piece. This is way bigger than I need. But I'm going to grab a little piece of this KL fabric. And right here where I can see it's too short, I'll flip it over to the back so you can see a little bit better. This piece needs to be covered. If I take a pen and draw on this side, that line so that you can see it, I should be covering this area with that fabric, and I didn't. So all I'm going to do is lay this right sides together, just like that, and I'm just going to stitch it. Doesn't matter whether I use 1/8 of a seam allowance or 1/4 of a seam allowance. I just want to make sure the fabrics are the same fabrics and they're right sides together, and then I'm just going to stitch. And in the end, nobody's really going to notice that, because of all of the jagged pieces. What they're going to see is that the color just continues, so you'll be okay. I will treat it just like I did all of my other seams. So I'll draw with my Acorn pen on that. And I'll put a hot iron right on top of there. And now for the paper piece, just to show you another tip that you can do, where this is falling off, do you see how this is kind of coming off? I don't want my paper to come off yet. I want to keep all of my paper intact. And so what I can do there it is, there's a box that I keep on my shelf behind me that has all these cute little washi tapes in them, and I never ever use them. But then you have moments where they come in handy, like this. So I've got this really cute little Riley Blake washi tape that has pins on it. Maybe it's Riley Blake, maybe it's not. I don't know. I'm just going to pull off a length of this. Doesn't have to be super accurate. And I'm going to lay it down over top of that seam like a Band-Aid. And that'll just keep it all nice and in one shape. So there we go. That's 1, 2. Now I'm going to look for fabric number 3, which is AL. Bring back out my cutting guide. I should just leave this here. I'm not quite organized the way I would like to be right now, so kind of all over the place at the moment. I need to get things laid out the right way. Okay, AL. I have 3 pieces I'm going to need from that, including C13, so I'm just going to cross off C13. I think I'm getting closer to being organized. Slide this under here. It's AL is the code. These are not in alphabetical order, so, but there's not tons to flip through, so it's okay. We'll put this up there. I'm going to do the same thing for C13 that I did for C12. Grab my tapered edge, put it along that line, start the fold, and now I should have a pretty consistent 1/4 inch because remember I trimmed the fabric. But because I franken grew the piece down here, I did need to clean that up a little bit, and this is just going to go in the trash. It's not even an inch big. Now, I'm going to grab my AL piece. I'll flip this over, and we're going to do a better job of paying attention this time. I'm going to line up my raw edge, and it's extending past both sides, so I think I'm going to be okay, but I'm going to fold it to where I think that 1/4 inch seam allowance is going to be, and make sure the whole piece is covered. It is. Now I'll take it to my machine and stitch. Removable magic tape by Scotch, Alice says. That's awesome. Okay, I'll finger press this down. I don't need this washi tape right now, but maybe I'll need it later. There we go. And now I'm going to go to my cutting mat. I'm going to trim this up. I'm not going to worry about keeping it. Well, I guess I could. I'm going to say I'm not going to worry about cleaning it all up perfectly, but I might as well since I'm trimming now. What I'm going to do is cut right to the right of that seam allowance. This gray line that's extra thick all the way around is a 1/4 inch. That is your seam allowance. So you want to cut to the right of that, not to the left of it. Okay. Still need some of that one, so we'll set it aside. I don't have my trash bin. Oh, we'll use this. Okay, now that this piece is all put together, we're going to grab that sheet protector that we had. We're going to put it away. So I am all done with this piece. And I do like to put it in so that the number of the block is facing forward. Wait, no, I don't. I put the pretty fabric facing forward so I know it's all pieced. When something's unpieced, it's the numbers facing forward. Once it's pieced, it's the fabric. That just kind of helps me glance through how much I've done. All right, now I'm going to move on to C2. I'm doing these in order. There are 2 pieces of paper for C2. So I'm just going to rough cut just to make them a little bit more manageable. Yes, I am reusing my rotary cutter for my paper. Using it when I trim my blocks too, it's fine. All right, C2A and C2B. What's going to happen is you're going to put them together like this. So we're going to look for KL, grab my cut guide, and see how many pieces I need from KL, if this will be the last time I cut from it or not. KL is C2A. Scratch that off. And then I can see from this that I have C2B, which is number 3 on here left. So when I go to cut my piece off of KL, I only need a very small piece left. And I've got this nice big piece to work with still. So yeah, I'm doing pretty good. And KL was the one that was going to be the tightest, I think. So KL is the first one. And then HR is chartreuse, and it's the only, we only need this one piece from it. So I'm going to scratch both of those off. I'll set this aside. I'll grab my HR piece, which is this other lovely green. And then once I sew it on, I'm just going to put it in my scrap folder because I don't need it anymore for this month. All right, KL. So all I'm going to do is try to find a way to line this up so that the fabric covers all of the KL area plus seam allowance. And this area kind of covers it really nice. So I'm just going to cut. For this one, I'm just going to cut straight here. For HR, I'm going to do like this. Same thing I did before. I can watch people FPP all day. It just reminds me why I don't do it anymore, Karen said. It's fun. You know, I'll be honest, I love office supplies. And I feel like with FPP, this allows me to combine my desire of playing with stationery and playing with fabric. So there's that. Okay, flip this over. And now I'm going to take this chartreuse piece, and I want to make sure that when I flip it, it covers that whole area. And wouldn't you know, it sure does. So we'll take this. Let me double check. Yes, it does. Okay. I had to second guess myself. I think I actually slightly moved it a little bit too. Oh, wow, that's way off, actually. Hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute. Okay. There we go. Just want to make sure, yeah, I'm good, that all of my fabric is covering the KL piece under number 1. I like Legit Kit FPP if I pick the easy pattern, but I hand sew. Very cool. They're very detailed, and they do take a bit of time to do, but I feel like they are designed to be an easy way to do a detailed FPP pattern. What kind of weather do you have? Oh, never mind. Sorry, I thought that was for me. And then I realized Katie was asking somebody else. My bad. Hello, Josie from her camper in her Juki 2010 QVP in Corning, New York. How is camping? Okay, I want to make sure that the sticker stays on this piece. So I'm just going to reposition it over here. That way when I trim this up, I'm not losing what that fabric is. Now I'm just going to go through and clean this one up. There's only 2 pieces of fabric on this piece. The reason why I'm saving the fabric, even though I might be done with it for this month's package, is because you never know when you're going to make a boo-boo in a future month. So if I'm in month 5 and I shortchange something and don't get all of HR covering a block, I can go back into previous months and see if I have any scrap left over that I can pull. Okay, that's C2A1. We'll set that up here. Bye, Gigi. This can go in my scrap bin for this month. Oh, here it is. Still have some sticky stuff on that. What does the pen you are using do? So the pen that I'm using is called the Acorn Easy Pressing Pen. And it basically is a felt tip marker, chisel tip, and you push on the nib and it allows liquid from the barrel of the pen to flow down the nib, and you fill it up with some concentrated starch. And so it allows you to apply starch directly to your seam, even when you can't starch the whole block. So in FPP, you don't want to starch the block after you're done pressing because you're going to make the paper wet, and you don't want the paper to get wet because then it'll fall apart on you. So that starch pen helps keep your seams flat, nice and starched, but also keeps the integrity of the paper. DK is what I'm going to pull for the next one. So I'm going to go grab DK, AL, and KL. That's KL, so I just need DK now. DK is here. These are the ones I'm not using. This is what I'm using for this part of the block. All right, let's scratch them out. I'm going to do all of the colors that I pulled off of my cutting diagram first. So DK, I'm pulling C2B, AL, I'm pulling C2B, and KL, C2B. And KL is it. I won't use KL the rest of this month. So once I put KL on here, whatever's left is going to go into my scrap bin. Let's start with DK because that's where number 1 is. For the purpose of this one, because the piece is so big, I'm just going to go ahead and rough cut my piece out. And I'm just going to make it a square. It'll be fine. I remember this one was a really generous piece, so I can do that. I just don't want to have to deal with a great big piece under the machine right now. So this is my DK. Now I'm going to find the edge of that fabric. Grab my add a quarter ruler, crease the line. So glad you're doing FPP tonight, Stephanie says. My friends Bob and Diane are camping in Wisconsin tonight and watching. They're going to be starting their first FPP project. Great timing. I really enjoy doing FPP. It's very soothing. Like, it's just because you're still. So here's the problem that I have. Like, sometimes I just want to make something and I want it to be beautiful, but I don't know what I want to make. And I can't be bothered to think about the math required for cutting or seam allowances or any of that other stuff. And the nice thing about the FPP is I don't have to do all that. It allows me to just have a relaxed sewing session. Once you get into the rhythm of stitch, flip, press, trim, stitch, flip, press, trim, stitch, flip, press, trim, it's all great. Like you're just building out the blocks. All right, so that was DK. I'm going to add AL to this. I am going to grab this whole big piece. Just allows you to enjoy time at your machine and you still get excellent results. That's the nice thing. Like you're just getting some relaxed sewing. We're not going to call it mindless sewing. We're going to call it relaxed sewing. And you're still making progress towards something. And in the end, you got something that was probably more perfect than if you would have just done traditional piecing, depending, at least without the frustration. Now you still do have to have some sewing techniques and skills under your belt when it's time to join all these together, because there are points that you do have to line up. But hi, Arkansas gal. Andrea, hello. There we go. Take these off here. We'll put this back up here. Guys, if you don't know, Andrea has a channel too. She would love if you guys checked out. One of my moderators is available to put her link in the channel. I'm sure she would love it. In fact, if we have any other content creators in here who would like a link for their channel dropped, just do a little heart emoji and I'll either get it or one of my moderators will do it for you. It's the middle of summer, so I know a lot of them are out on trips with friends or family or whomever else. And you can always just search Arkansas Gals too in YouTube and it'll pull it right up. All right, so that's my AL piece. Now I'm going to do my KL piece. And remember, KL, this is the last time I'll need to use it for this month. So after I'm done stitching, this is really more for me than it is for you. I'll put it in my scrap bin. Look at how big of a piece I have for this. So big. Oh my goodness, so big. Just make sure it covers. It does. Thank you, Tiff. I appreciate you. All right. I'll flip that over. Hello, Julie. All right. Now I'm going to go through and clean this up. Oh, I love you too. Even though I feel like we're two ships passing in the night right now. I almost called you earlier. I was like, you know who I haven't talked to in a minute? I haven't talked to Tiff. I mean, we've talked to Marco Polo and such. Blockade? Why are you texting me? Oh, got it. Never mind, Ian. I got you. You're not here. You're texting me. I like that. That's a... when you watch the replay, Ian, I'm talking to you. What is the purpose of the pen you use on the seams? Yeah, so that's the pen I was talking about earlier. This is the Acorn Easy Pressing Pen. I'll demonstrate it. I do have a video that walks through this notion very closely. There's a few uses for it. I did a short for a new use for it that I found. But what I'm using for in the world of FPP, I'll show you in a minute. Let me get this cleaned up. KL, this is extra. We're not using that anymore. I'm going to put it in my scrap envelope. just like this. There we go. All right, so what it does, the two-part system, you get the pen, which says Acorn Precision Piecing Products. It's an easy press pen, and you get a bottle of solution that comes with it. You unscrew the top here. I actually need to fill it up, so this is good timing. I'll call you after my live if Jason's not home, Tiff. Oh, there you go. And now I'm going to have to iron that because I just spilt a couple of drops and it's a little wet. You put this concentrated starch in the pen. You can see I've dropped a few drops on the block. So we're going to stitch that. We're going to clean that up. So to make this work, you just push the nib into the pen, and that will get the liquid flowing to the nib. It's like a highlighter nib, chisel tip. Let me get these drops dried up. And it allows you, when you do that, to draw a line of starch directly on your seam. So why would I do that instead of starching the whole block? Well, it's really easy. So in the world of FPP, you still want to starch your seams because that's going to help these lay really flat, especially with the legit kit blocks where you start getting a lot of nested seams. You get a lot of seams built on top of each other. So the more effort you take in the beginning to get these blocks really super flat, the better off you're going to be. And honestly, it's not even a bad idea to put a clapper on top of it after you've starched it and let it completely cool here. I'll talk about what all these do. So what does the starch do? The starch introduces moisture to the fabric, which allows you to get a super flat press. And then the clapper, when you put it on top of that fabric, it's allowing the fabric to cool under pressure, under weight. And so that's going to help it set to be super, super flat. So it's like, you can't tell because you can't touch it, but this is really flat. This works because I don't want to pick up my starch bottle and start starching this fabric because on the back side I have the paper and I want the paper to stay intact until the project is done. All right, now I'm going to join these two pieces together. Drop the starch, clean that up. All right. So when I'm joining my blocks together, I work from the pattern side. I do use pins for this. Put them right sides together, line up the edge that I'm going to line up. And there will be a point right here that I want to try to preserve. So I'm going to put my pin right on this point where it comes to the seam allowance. And I'm going to flip it through the back to make sure that the pin came through in that point where I want it to be. And then I'm going to poke it through the point on the other side where it should, that point should meet up at. I'm going to leave the pin hanging straight. And then I'm going to line up the raw edge and any other points that I might have that intersect. There are none. So in this case, I'm just going to put a pin through the corner of each side. I'm going to let the pins lay straight. I'm not going to pin it like I would pin fabric normally. I'm just going to do this. All these pins are doing is keeping my fabric lined up. And then I'll grab a few Wonder Clips. I'll clip the heck out of this. That's not too many. I'll put my pins back in the magnetic clip. I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and I'll sew it together. And if I'm nervous that this isn't lined up right, I can sew it with a basting stitch make sure that everything lines up, and then go back in and sew with a tighter stitch length once everything, I've confirmed that I've got it all lined up. This one I'm pretty confident with, so I'm just going to go. Watch me be too confident, aka cocky. A walking foot helps you with this too, by the way. And so right there is where our point is. It all kind of comes to a head right here. Before I do anything else, do I have that? I'm just got the case of the dropsies today. Do I have my water pen? I do not have my water pen, but this might work. Let's see. Nope. In fact, that needs to be thrown away. I had a new thing that I saw on TikTok that I thought was amazing, and I wanted to show you, but I can't seem to find my water pen. So I'm going to look in here and see if I packed it away for retreat. I know I gave one to Donna while I was at retreat. Ooh, those are fun snips. Nope. 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 Okay, so this is the trick. We're going to do this with starch. Shh, don't tell. If you get one of those water pens that you get from like Michael's, instead of dealing with trying to rip this out, you can get it wet with a water brush. I'm just going to use starch in this case. And when you introduce water to paper, what happens? It rips really easy. So when I do that, I can come in here and pull this out without having to pull, like it just literally just shreds off. I did try this with a 2.0 stitch length. It was great. So you don't, if you use this method to rip your paper in the back, you actually don't have to reduce your seam allowance if you don't want to. I do have longer nails. Well, they're shorter than I normally wear them, but they do have a bit of thickness to them because I get the dip powder. So this is, it is a little hard for me to get into some of these places and get stuff out. It's not because the paper is hard to rip, it's because I have a hard time gripping. So I use tweezers. These Cricut scissor tweezers are great. I like these because it allows me to grip onto things without having to squeeze it. They come in like they're crushed. Do you see how it's like that to squeeze? I squeeze it to open rather than squeeze it to close. Much less cramping on my hand. I didn't do the liquid on this side, but you could. Now I'm going to open this up. I normally with FPP, when I join two sections, I will take a minute to press that seam open just so I can distribute the bulk evenly. Oh, Pat, I gave Pat a water pen. I had two to give away, so I'm glad you have one. I kept one for myself. I just think it's packed away for the next retreat. I think I gave one to Donna too. There we go. We'll just press that. Hello, Lisa from Australia. And then once I do it from the back side, I do give it a little bit of heat from the front side too. And then I'll put it under the clapper and let that cool down. So that's C2. This is 2 of the 4 blocks that we're going to put together, and the next 2 should be relatively easy. So I don't think we're joining anything. I think we're just putting fabric on one piece of fabric. I have my headphones on. My dogs are singing the songs of their ancestors. You're welcome, Andrea. Thank you. No, thank you, Andrea. Thank you. Every time I say thank you, my head goes to the movie You've Got Mail. The Meg Ryan's boyfriend at the beginning of the movie. They end up not being together, right? So Meg Ryan's boyfriend at the end of the movie had a crush on this reporter that did an interview for him, and he was fumbling over his words when she was talking to him. And so he's like, I just want to say I don't watch much TV, but yours is one of the shows that I do watch. And she's like, well, she was really nice. She was like, thank you or whatever. And he went to say, thank you for having me on. And he goes, thank your. Or he goes, thank your. She goes, thank your, ladies and gentlemen. So every time I say thank you, I'm like, thank your. No, it's not. I'm in the yellow zone, Tiff. So is anybody else having issues with my sound? Am I coming through okay? Tiffany said it sounds like I'm coming through really low. I think I'm coming through okay. All of my text stuff says I'm doing everything right, but I am talking softer than normal. I'm not projecting my voice. I'm just talking in a normal voice. That could be part of it. Oh, I do have one more that I'm going to join. Probably not going to get through all these tonight. That was an hour and a half. Whew. All right. We're going to do D1. For this one, we need AL, and this is the last time we'll need AL. Yay! We need DK. This is not the last time we'll need DK. And we'll need QY. And this is not the last time we'll need QY. So AL is done after this. Good to know. All right, here's my AL piece. Just going to line it up. That looks good. And I'm going to, because this is the last time I'm going to use it, I'm just going to rough cut. I'm going to chop it all up. It don't even matter. Just going to make sure that my whole piece is covered. And then this is going to go in my envelope. Sound is good with me, Bill says. Mary says, thanks for answering my question. You're welcome. Wanda can hear me. I am good with your sound. I turned mine down even. Okay. She said she was listening through her headphones and then she took them off and it sounded soft on the computer speakers or phone speakers. So it could just be that she's listening through different speakers. And like I said, I am not projecting my voice. I am talking in a normal tone of voice. So when I'm talking like this, it probably sounds a little bit softer. I am talking kind of soft. And then when I get really excited, my voice carries. Does anybody else have that problem? Like every time I get excited, my voice volume goes up and up and up. And I don't always hear that. So I'm probably tuned for like talking really excited. And I'm not. DK. Okay. DK is duckling. Yes. We're going to grab this piece. Ooh, oof, oof. Oh, shoof. Shoof, shoof. I don't know what I'm saying. Ignore me. Yeah, that'll work. Just like. See how much of this we can get in there. Oh, nope, can't do that. That's too far. That's what we're going to have to do. Okay. And now I got to line it all up again. Oh, goodness. I really should have taken a minute to pull my light box out. It would have made this a whole lot easier. Okay. Oh, no. Come on. that'll work. Just like that. I just don't want the selvage to be, I want to push the selvage over a bit. Okay. Wow, that's a lot of it. I can see, you know what, that's fine. It lined up. We're going to go for it. And we're going to go. And I just shifted everything, so now I'm nervous. We'll see what happens. Bambi says, I have been quilting for 24 years and paper piecing is one of my favorites, but it has come a long way since I learned it. Enjoying the live. Carolyn says, yes, that happens with me, especially when I'm passionate about a subject. People think I'm yelling. I get that too. Or you get the opposite. You're not yelling at people, but when you're like this, where you're just kind of like a little more quiet because you're just done, you get people going, why are you in a bad mood? I'm not. I'm just depleted. Or I have no energy to be bubbly. That happens a lot when you have a bubbly personality. People will be like, why are you mean? Why are you mad? Not mean. Why are you mad? I'm not mad. I'll tell you if I'm mad. I'm just quiet. Did you take your featherweight Peggy Sue on retreat? I did not, because I do not have Peggy Sue in my possession anymore. True story. Here's the story. Are you ready for why I don't have Peggy Sue? I actually never talked to you guys about this. I don't have Peggy Sue in my possession anymore because my friend Mary, God love her, she had a featherweight once upon a time. And one of the first things that she told me when we first started talking and hanging out is that she had a featherweight, but she had some bills that had to be paid or some unexpected expenses or something. And so she ended up having to sell it. And she lost the featherweight, like, because she sold it, right? And that made her very sad. And I had one, and it was really just more for the novelty of having one than it was actually working on it. I did try to work on it. It was not my cup of tea. Not that it was a great machine, but it was a lot of manual, and it was a lot slower than I'm used to. And I just don't want to work on it. I like them. I love looking at them, but I like looking at them. I don't want to touch them. Is that bad? That's probably bad. So anyway, I gave it to Mary. I didn't give it to her. I loaned it to her for as long. I'm looking for my scrap bag. I loaned it to her for as long. Oh, here it is. For as long as she will like to have it. So she has it in her possession. I do see her occasionally, Peggy Sue that is, and she has actually played with her a little bit. Peggy Sue gets out and is far more loved by Mary than she is by me, and I thought that was just the right thing to do. So if and when Mary ever decides that she no longer wants a featherweight, Peggy Sue will come back to me. But until then, Peggy Sue is hanging out with Mary. QY. Technically, I have one, just not my possession. And besides, I have the hand crank right here. I'm happy with the hand crank. Have I used the hand crank? No, I haven't used it. It sits on that shelf, proud as can be, boy. Nancy Jean does not come off that shelf. Yes, that is the name of the machine, Nancy Jean. Jason named her. He said it's short and squatty like my mom. That's what he said. I was like, Jason, that's not nice. That was a gift from my husband when we first moved into this house. It was our first Christmas in this home. And sitting next to it is one of those really old hot irons, like old irons. That's what I meant, not hot irons, all iron, but whatever. One of the iron irons, you know, the kind that you have to set on a heat source to get heated up. I got that from Tiffany. So that's like my antique shelf. They're always right there in the background. Tell you what, Jason should be pulling up right about the time that we're done with our live stream tonight. I'm super excited to go sit and hang out with him for a bit. So I'm kind of, as I'm doing this, I'm keeping an eye on the windows to see if I can tell when his headlights are pulling up the driveway. I'll be able to tell. I'm just curious if he's going to pull up the driveway before I finish or not. Man, I'm tired. It's been a week. Did you make your little ironing pad? Nope, I bought this one, but I can make them. They are easy to make, and I have recovered them. They're easy to recover too. I got this from a little store called the Old Country Store in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Going to falling asleep. And how is Beetlejuice and the love of bees? Oh my gosh. He still loves them. He loves those spicy jalapeno flies, sky raisins, jalapeno sky raisins. That's what the little GIF said they were called. Oh my gosh. I thought he was going to learn his lesson until he went out and saw more bees, and now he runs after them and tries to eat them. And I'm like, oh gosh, this is going to be a whole thing, isn't it? And I'm not going to have my house, I'm not going to have my yard sprayed for bees and like I have a house in the woods. The bees belong here. I'll just have to learn. And we do have Benadryl that we keep on hand per the vet now. If something happens, we just give them a half a Benadryl. Jalapeno sky raisins, that's right. Okay. C1, C2. I got one more to do. I might actually get this done. Might actually get month 3 done. How about that? Hello, Renee. Good night, Jim. All right, so DK and QY for this first one. We're done with this page, so I'll put this over here. So I'll flip through it. DK and QY. I was not done with DK. I got to go back into my scrap bag. All my pack is on a full Benadryl or well over that. How big are your dogs? Beetlejuice is 11 pounds, so I don't know if I can put him on a full Benadryl. We have lots of bees here, so he is a little guy. Our last dog was not. He was a very large dog. But this one, we got two little tiny ones now. My niece calls them spicy flies. Yeah, I saw your comment about how her dog ate one and the stinger got stuck in the tongue. Somebody sent me a picture of their corgi who ate a bee and his face all like ballooned up. It looked like a filter had been applied to that poor dog's picture. The Frenchie is the smallest at 26 pounds. Still a good sized dog compared to the Akumu is 6.8 pounds right now. He's still got a bit of growing to do. And Beetlejuice is fully grown at 11 pounds. Like literally 11.08 is what he weighed on. Beetlejuice weighs less than Thumper. Beetlejuice and Akumu combined weighed less than the cat. Tommy weighed more than Beetlejuice and the cat. I'm sorry. Tommy the cat weighed more than the two dogs combined. That's what I meant. I'm just going to go with this. Embrace the waste of FPP. It'll be fine. Shoot, that won't be fine. I just cut the wrong piece. Oh my gosh. I'm sitting here thinking about the cat and yeah. Yeah. Hold on. I need to get my head in the game. Okay, that's what I need. Hopefully I didn't mess up QY too much. Nothing that we can't recover from. We can frank and grow the piece if we need to. Oh my goodness. Petru is an 11-month-old Dane Mastiff. He's 183 pounds last week. Holy cow. There was a dog at the vet when I went on Tuesday who I swear looked like a big white bear. Looks like a polar bear coming out of the back. I was like, oh my gosh, that's a dog. He's huge. Okay. And just to make this easier to fold, we're going to do that. Put this. If I have little bits of a fabric, I'll put it inside of the labeled piece of fabric, fold it up so that it's all together. And now QY. I'll try and use that piece that I cut off. That should work. Ooh. Dang, that's so close. But it's going to work. Oh, Samoyed. Yeah. Okay, sure. It was huge. It was white and it was fluffy. Oh my gosh, it was so fluffy. Like this dog, literally his head came up to my waist. Probably. I don't know. I didn't get close. But he was very big. And it was hilarious because his owner had him in a Tesla. And I pulled up with Beetlejuice, who's 11 pounds, in an Explorer. I was like, I think we need to switch cars. Oh, that poor dog. I don't know how he fit in that Tesla. But he did. He did. All right, there we go. That's the first part. Now we're going to do, SB, which I haven't used yet. Great Pyrenees. Sounds good. Whatever you said. Probably was. I'll have to look. You're probably right on that one. Oh, well, SB, we only have the one piece. So, because now we're done. So I'm just going to be dangerous. It's fine. And now I'm going to fold. You would think I would learn to keep this up on the table. Do I? All right, and then that is QY, which is this piece here. That's going to be plenty big enough. Test the flip. That looks good. Hello, Fallon. Welcome to the fun, where I FPP way too late at night. Okay. Now, I'm going to do my pen trick. Hey, congrats about your thing with Fat Quarter Shop, by the way. I saw that. That's awesome for you. I'm so proud of you. Good job. I don't know why I said good job and I'm proud of you, but congrats. Girl, way to hustle. Okay, and now we'll do SX. This will be the last piece, but before we do, I'm going to clean up this edge. Bye, Day. See you later. That goes in there, and then we have one more piece to add. And then we'll combine these two pieces, and we got month 3 done in 2 hours with talking. So I guess if you weren't talking, then Karen says, I think Eric is also going live tonight. Oh, awesome. Can Tiffany or somebody, one of the other moderators, put Eric's channel link in the chat so people have it if they want to check him out too? That'd be amazing. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Yeah, let's get that. Last seam to press. Thank you, Tiff. Okay. We're going to clean these up and join them, and then I will be done. This is my favorite part of FPP, when you clean up the block, and then after all of that mess that you made, you have this beautifully perfect block put together. That's the best. Is he live right now? Or is it 9 o'clock his time, like midnight mine? I know he does a lot of late night stuff. Okay, grab all of this, put it in the bin. 9 his time, got it. So midnight here. Okay, these are all extras. Put it in the scrap bin. Look at all that extra fabric I have for 1 month. Gloria says, between you and Donna, I'm getting more comfortable with the vortex, and I now have a light box, and that helps. If I would have thought for a minute, but like I said at the beginning of tonight, I'm not thinking clearly right now. Too much stress. Kind of have actually put myself on timeout a little bit and not really talk to a lot of people because I don't want to say something that I will regret later just out of pure emotion. So I've been kind of isolating a bit. But yeah, if I would have thought for a minute that I was doing this and taken a minute to gather all my supplies, I would have grabbed the light box because it does make things so much better. I love that light box. For Shirley. I like to line up the point in the middle first. because that's the piece that I want to make sure is spot on as I'm doing this. These outside corners matter a little bit less to me, especially since it's just a piece of solid fabric. On a piece of solid fabric, there's not a point in them, but I like to line up all my points first. And then I'll come in, do the corners like I showed you earlier, keep everything hanging down, and then clip, 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 clip. I've even seen some people start in the middle and sew out one way and then come back to the middle and sew out the other way. I think we've got some heat lightning going on, some thunder. Keep hearing it. It's been happening all day. We even had a downpour for like 10 minutes. It's pretty good. I do like to rip the paper out from the seam that where I just joined the two sections, but I'll leave the rest of the paper on. Sounds like somebody's setting off fireworks. Or shooting off a gun or something. I think it's fireworks. That is the one thing that I really appreciate about having the kennels. So we crate train at home, and during the day, unless we're leaving or the dogs haven't gone potty outside, because they're still puppies. Beetlejuice is more trustworthy, but Akumu is not, and Akumu can't stand to be in the crate alone, and if they each have their own crates and they're right next to each other, but if Beetlejuice is not in the crate next to him, Akumu will go crazy. And if Akumu's in the crate and Beetlejuice is not, Beetlejuice will just sit there in front of his crate. So we typically crate both of them if one needs to be crated, just to keep it easier. Anyway, what I was going to say is they're both crate trained, and we use that for overnight. Katina, I'll watch that. I'll read that in a second. But we crate train at night, and as a result, like during the day, we just leave the doors open, and they have their own comfy bed in there. They each have a heartbeat puppy dog in there, and usually there's a bone in each one of them that they work on during the day. A lot of times they bring it out during the day, so it's not even really in there. But anyway, the reason why I was bringing all that up is because with all the fireworks and the gunshots and fireworks and the explosions and the thunder, that's what I meant. With all the big bangs that are happening right now, they just go in their kennels when they're feeling scared or overwhelmed, and it kind of they feel safe in there. So like when they were setting off fireworks the other night, they were not in the crate. Neither one of them were in their crate. I was sitting out in the front room with them. and they were just going crazy, and they wanted to be on my lap, and they were trying to hide and all the things. But now there's all sorts of bangs and booms happening, and they're in their kennels. You guys can't hear them, but I can. If they start barking, they're fine. They're totally fine. They've even gone into their kennel when they just want like a timeout. So yeah, really good. So Katina said, to give Benadryl, you do it by weight and you will use liquid. Info was verified by my vet, and I worked in the neonatal ICU, and we give infants liquid Benadryl by weight. Yep. So the dosage that I was told, she continues to say, liquid Benadryl is 12.5 milligrams / 5 mLs of liquid. There are dosages, and you can repeat it every 6 to 8 hours is what she means. You need a real syringe if possible. They are more, yep, just like you do with a kid. Contact your vet to verify, and they may be able to print out. Yep, I did all that. The vet told us to give him just regular Benadryl. We already have it on hand. They told us that he gets half of a 25, because the normal dosage is 25. They said he gets half of that, which is your 12.5 for his weight. So yeah, we've already got all of that. So I appreciate you just validating that the vet just told us the same thing. So, yep. Hello, Tammy. She said, OMG, I never catch the lives. Life is busy for me. Hello, everyone. Hello, Tammy. I am just wrapping up. I've got all my pieces put together. I worked on month 3 for Vortex. I'm just waiting for my husband to get home right now. Oops, this is the wrong way. Hello, Leanne Davis from hot Arizona. It is a scorcher. I always used kennels too, VR says. They're nice to have and it keeps everything in place, but I know my other 2 dogs, they use it as a security blanket as well. Yep, we use it as, we allow them to choose whether or not they want to go in during the day, like I said. We don't keep them boxed up, kenneled up the whole time. But, you know, if we have company over or we need somebody to, like a serviceman or something comes into the home, somebody comes into, like we have somebody come in once a year to service all of our appliances. It's really nice to be able to scoop them up and just put them in there, and they're fine. When our cleaners, we have cleaners come once a month, we put them in the kennel then. It's nice to be able to do it when we need to, but most of the time they're just running around the house because they're dogs and we have dogs. So there you go. Good night, Bambi. Flicky says, I'm RVT for 23 use. Dogs are roughly 1 milligram per pound. Okay. Fortunately, we have not had to use any of the Benadryl because what they gave him worked and he hasn't had any other allergic reaction, and maybe this time he'll stay away from the bees. Tammy says, 2 jobs and a 19-month-old granddaughter keeps me very busy. I would imagine. Fireworks, Gidget says, fireworks are so scary for animals. They are. Our, we had a coon hound that was, Aiden was our coon hound. He's been gone for a while. Every 4th of July, that dog would have so much anxiety. It would get to the point, he loved to go to the dog park. And it would get to the point where when people started setting off the fireworks, he wouldn't want to go to the dog park. He didn't want to leave the house. He was so terrified. It's loud booms and his hearing is sensitive. So what are you going to do? All right, that's all I got. It's after 10 o'clock. Husband should be home soon, hopefully. I'm going to check and see where he is, actually, because I would like to know. Is he pulling up the drive soon? Oh, half a mile away. So it's time to end. Thank you, friends, for hanging out with me. The company was so appreciated. I've had a very stressful week. So just having somebody to chat with while I'm sewing on a relaxing sew, some FPP, was definitely what I needed tonight. As a reminder, on Tuesday, I forgot to mention this earlier, so I was going to leave on Saturday to go to Alabama, and several of the days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, were going to be a work trip, and then I was going to be at my personal retreat from like Wednesday night through the next week, because it runs Thursday morning to Thursday morning basically. So it's like a week long. My work trip got canceled. It was my choice to cancel it. It was the right thing to do given everything that's happened at home. So I'm not leaving on Saturday, but I am leaving on Tuesday. So my plan is I'm going to drive down to Kingsport, Tennessee and pick mom up on Tuesday. We're going to have, there comes the husband. I see his lights coming up the driveway. I love him. So we're going to stop in Kingsport, Tennessee for dinner, and we'll probably go into Stitch in Heaven. No, not Stitch in Heaven. Heavenly Stitches. That's it. Heavenly Stitches. Probably stop into Heavenly Stitches for a bit. And then Wednesday morning, we'll pack up and drive the rest of the way to our retreat in Alabama. And we'll be in Scottsboro for the next week and a day. And then I'll come back home. And I think Thursday night we'll leave from Alabama to come back, and I'm going to stop in Abingdon, Virginia, which is where Jason and I used to live and where we met, and that's where our whole journey started together. I'll stay a night there, and then I'll finish the drive on Friday. Next week on Friday, I will be going live. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like yet. I had plans to pre-record something and kind of like play it for you on the live while I was chatting, but I don't think that's going to work out well because my MacBook needs to go in the shop. I dropped it, cracked the screen. It's great. I don't know how we made it 2 hours, and I haven't talked to you about that, but I want to get that into the shop. So I'm going to go live from my phone if I go live, but there's a chance I might just not go live at all, and we're going to play it by ear. If I don't go live, Donna usually goes live at 10 p.m. Eastern time, but I might pop in just to say hi and show you what our retreat is like, because this place is a blast, and I'd love to just have a little Q&A. That's all I have. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'm going to go spend some time with my husband, and I'll see you on Tuesday and hopefully live in a week. Bye.